I don't do them.
No?
No.
What's your opinion about this?
Well, I think there's something to them in the sense that when your sun comes back to its basic place in its chart, it's returned to its own place. We celebrate our birthday, don't we?
Right.
What is the sun about? Parties, good time,
Yeah.
right? Amusement, entertainment, all those things we do on our birthday is being triggered by that transit sun coming back to that point. So in that sense, it's accurate, okay? And there is some accuracy to that, okay? But as far as doing a solar return and then taking the whole chart and giving you an interpretation, no. No, I'll take what I teach any day and put it up against those things. And you'll see it as you work with me. You'll see that those things work. There's no getting around them, okay? Saturn became to me, it taught me a lot, Saturn, because like I said, for a long time I didn't deal with it because I saw so many times nothing ever came from it. And then all of a sudden I realized it's cycle, it's a timepiece. Saturn is Father Time, and he's the measurer off of all things. And so when he goes through that chart, the transit chart, moving as it does, day after day, year after year, it takes 28 years to go around that chart. Then ironically I discovered that the progressed moon takes 28 years to go around that chart. I said, isn't that funny? It's coincidental, isn't it? And then I realized that the new moon is 28-day cycle, 28, 29, same thing. And I realized that these three things all have 28, 29 degrees. They're all exact. And if you're born with the Saturn afflicting the moon in your chart, or someone is, you have a client that comes to you, and their Saturn and moon is afflicted by birth, by opposition, square, okay? I'm using hard angles. You do. You have that? What is the exact aspect between yours?
Square.
Huh? Square? Okay. So what happened, that's called Saturn chasing the moon. And have you ever heard, they got 7 years bad luck? You ever heard that expression? That's the 7-year cycle of that 28. If you take that cross, go from one point to the next, it's 7 years. The next is 7 is 14, 18, 20, 20, oh, not 8, 21, 28. So what are you doing is you're breaking up that cycle. That's because they move the same speed. Your progressed moon is from the day you're born, 28 years to go around that full chart. Transit Saturn takes 28 years too. That means they're chasing each other. They're always staying in that aspect. It can make for a hard, testy life. Okay? It challenges you continually. Okay? And what it does is it challenges, particularly in a woman's chart, a lot of challenges with a family life. Okay? Why? Because that's the moon's dealing. The husband, Saturn, very much is involved in that. That transiting, constant battling, there's something going on that's constantly keeping you on the edge. And when it hits the 7-year point, every 7 years, 7, 14, 21, 28, it's not exact, okay? You do a progression, you get the exactness. Those years can be more critical for you, okay? Unless you're walking in what? Praise, thanksgiving, and love. See where I'm coming from? See, I give you a way out, didn't I? So when you're dealing with clients, that's part of your job, is to help bring them above this stuff. Don't walk them out of there in fear. So when you looked at that, you said, my God, I got that. Oh, geez, first thing, right? Ron says this is... So has there been some major challenges about your home, where you're going to live? Huh? Am I telling you the truth? Can I ask you what it is? Do you mind sharing it with the group?
What you have mentioned, actually I moved from Argentina to Chile, so
Immigration and getting kicked out of the country, and does that fit that? See, Saturn square the moon, because the accuser, Saturn, is also the what? The powers that be, the laws, afflicting the moon. In her chart, she's got it born with that cross. Means something she's going to have to bear in her life, and something that will constantly keep her under pressure. See that? Okay. What time is it? My gosh, 10:13? Have we learned anything tonight? Have I just preached to you too much? Okay. One thing, what's that? Good for you. If that's all you got out of me, I'd be delighted.
In that sense, that's really the solution.
It is. It's praise, give thanks, trust, and good. And use this as a tool to help others. You know, there's people, I've had Christians, fundamentals, you know, that really criticize me because I'm an astrologer. I'd say, you know, you guys would have kicked the 3 wise men out of town if they'd come to find Christ. Because they were astrologers, you would have, you know. And I said, furthermore, I said, Paul said an interesting thing. Paul said this. He says, I become all things to all men that thereby I might